đọc vụ rồi cho calling lai cái chỗ tra này khop ri 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 ai ri ri mà
có ý định gì đó
And we saw how that led to their game. It led to going back to the utilities, going back to the tanks in the jungle. But you still have the new elements you have to take into consideration. Esmeralda, Mathilda especially would be a nightmare to deal with for that Gord. Seems like Pro and Yangon are both going to be front to back, with Yangon having more options to break the formation of Pro.
Exactly. I think it's for Pro a little bit more front to back. They really want to play around that Gord, and so I think the carry here will be a very, very good man on top of the Esmeralda. Phobius, Esmeralda, both already counters to the Freya. The carry is just another cherry on top, just to give Freya a little bit more space in the goal if he does go there, or even in XP, right? Because you want to have a Purify here against this lineup. You don't want to go Vengeance against a Chogord Baxia on the Freya.
They take away the Sora as an option. I believe that is... Oh yeah, that's one of the notes that I have here for Pro. Watch out for their Sora in the EXP lane. So they pick up the Moskov. Our hunch is right. It is very front to back for Pro. Yangon has enough options for dive, and they say, why not more? Let's pick up the Claude. And I think a very solid roamer with Revitalize might be good here.
The Beleric is still up for grabs, though I'm not a big fan of it, knowing how much poke there is on Pro.
Yeah.
Especially with the Cho, early Prio as well, so we might just be seeing...
It's Gatotable, if you think about it.
It is Gatotable, but the Gord, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see here. Claude also a character that Yangon have won with and Pro Esports have lost with, so they don't actually really care too much that the Claude's there, but it is that dive that's going to pressure the Gord. How do they deal with this? Keep that front to back you were talking about, Mirko. What pick works well to help?
Carmilla! I mean, if we're talking punishing front to backs, punishing team comps that rely on sticking together, that's a pretty good pick.
Yep. Theoretically, just looking at everything on paper, I love what Yangon Galacticos have drafted here.
So much AoE as well.
So much AoE that Carmilla is going to give a lot of headaches for Pro if ever they cannot get good momentum to start with. Because if things are even and Yangon can play a normal team fight to Pro Esports front to back, then Yangon will continuously tear through them.
And technically, we were talking about Blink already, right? Earlier on, how did they win, dominate MSL Myanmar? It was through Blink getting his picks, random picks, cheesy picks. It was the Hellcurt, it was more damage oriented, but now we get to see a little bit more of whatever Carmilla is right now. Yeah. She has a lot of damage just putting it down there. Curse of Blood for the rest of the team. But now for Pro, it's just doubling down on early game snowball, trying to contest those neutral objectives, kind of dictating the pace of those early neutral objectives.
Maybe YG from Gord could get a pick. Pressure from Cho and Yuzhong. Rounds it out. How do you feel about it, Renmark?
Oh, sorry, I'm Felix loves the Yuzhong. Historically, plus Claude needs to watch out for that Petrify. A lot of execution, little things you gotta watch out for in the early to mid game, especially for Yangon, because that's their window. If they get to succeed in their window, they're gonna steamroll.
Well, they've got the draft, but again, I asked this question: will it be a rerun or a remake? Will we see the same result in YG push this set underway? On the cast alongside Leo. Welcome back.
30 ថា30 Pro 1 YG
Here we go. We waited a couple days leading into the knockouts.
Let's go. Cái bên 3 assassin នងគ្នាលេង utility ទាំងអស់អានោះ win ហើយខាងយើងបាស៊ីកុយលីចយ៉ាកុយលីលេងបាស៊ីកាយ Let's go.
We're jumping into this one.
Man.
This is a best of 5 and the action starts now. Neither side, I'd say, has clear mid prio.
But you see Carmilla. But combo getting John
seconds longer.
You're just cursed. You know, that curse of blood, that ultimate that Carmilla has is what could make this so deadly. Again, fighting around what they have with this composition, even when you look at the emblems that they're running, there is a good fight potential for just Yangon Galacticos to play off Blink.
gold lane, you see that both are just jockeying for position. Sanji and Kozin looking for that quick rotation out, quick duel. Both at less than half health right now. Sanji has to level up. BMI back.
This is such a odd thing too. And I know the panel.
Smile. Lấy bây giờ cái lên nhặt bay vô trên tránh như lên đi không? Là ta ai kia kìa. Bữa ra vô trên tranh bóng early cloud viền tay một tí. Tay bữa phốt đối với đôi đối với trai chia mà trade bữa vai do ngọt món bay một cái bay ngọt bữa min này. Hai bóng mày bim lên trong bàn 2 offline mà ngày 2. Ở đây cái này mà sao mình đánh vài phái.
You can expect it's a little bit of a slower pace game because of the nature of the jungle that are in play here. The fact that
mà team không mày. Để lấy cái tính mới xong mấy. Nhầm tính. Nhầm tính này nhầm tính. Ní mình. Nó ngay. Cái đo này vậy này. For blood. Hello bong kèm hua. Mày đang kêu stream chó nè. Nè cái coi stream này.
In the lane matchup alone, and that's why. Oh, here's
ngon. Cái chó ơi, cái chó.
Now they pressure Coily. Coily will be able to secure the orange. Rolling away.
All right, he gets one. That's fine. Evens things out. Han again on this.
Ơi. Ở đây em tao tìm mua chứ, em vi bay đo mau đo vô kia là đâu biết.
Right now, this is the course. Play around Han, set up potential. Eventually, the beacon is there as well.
Em đâu free ra mùi vui sống vì lên chơi chân quý. Bay mui. Ơi rồi. Thì làm hai on kèm hoa chăng? Hay là on kèm hoa? Trời ngọt bạt. Kịp đi off đầu mùi rồi. Ảo với trăm việt phi chẳng có trăm vay chứ. Mà mới mai xin hai một ngày chắc đăng ham đó mà đó lấy. Mày nhom sồn vào khe mày không chứ.
That setup with the spatial migration happens, so Younger Galacticos doing a really good job just finding these little moments across the map. You can see though how quickly across the map, and that's why now if you're pro esports having this Cho in the hands of PP here, he's got to be able to go land that kick, land that setup.
Miền vũ thế bố, vũ tích.
Skypiercer's picked up for Saw now too on this court, so if he's able to get a
stop, he's
a big threat with that Mystic.
It's not going to take the slide down despite the early pickoff. Younger Galacticos up by a significant 500 gold. Jockeying for position, PPP getting pressured, purifies all off of cooldown on Yangon. Ying and Blink just pressuring the turtle.
Này game một khơi cạo lên này, game dương một khơi đã. Nè bay. Khăn sao kín sao là tí anh. Ngon tầng o, định trời định dướng. Tầng o mềm. Tra tìm file kia. Hello tra tìm file. Tra tìm file kia thông màu.
Bây giờ rồi nó về nó liền.
OMG.
Man, talk about a switch. Younger Galacticos just decides to go in high drive.
Có viên tân ở đấy, game một cây dương free farm. Ngó đây, ngó ra đấy đi. Niệu, bốc ai là cái vai. Chọc.
After this replay, we got to take a look at the items here, but this one again, great team fighting.
Freya pi nè, chú xin đánh tồn vào. Game nó gọi ở ban vay là ta game kêu hero tồn cho pi. Đằng win 2 bông nhá lên một cái quay tầng O.
Chạy mãi đây.
Rồi mà cái ca cho vui, ngư thể đã.
We'll see exactly who has the Skypiercer. Okay, so it's just soft.
Yeah, no, Young and Galacticos are playing it close to the chest despite almost being 3,000 gold up. They decide to be conservative and say, nope, we're going to spread the goods.
Yeah, this is maybe it's the case where we see Kaize picking up later, as we've seen with Jushin before. Eventually, maybe second, third item. He's already got the glowing one. He'll be going.
Tầm bắt bơi hero dương
Destiny next, I would
bơi hero
say.
dương lên thọc nia món bông mùi món bàn tay hero chân hero cái chân là chu bạ to đó
vụ đập phim
nia tại dưới anh mới hot bàn tay tiền
cái đi vậy
đó thật hot ra
tôi làm
Just give him the staff.
trời cuốn man
He's not gonna have that for this turtle, nor will he have the ultimate. We'll see if Pro Esports wants to go ahead and
này môi
capitalize on that. Maybe get the turtle. They're in range for this coily.
cho
Wait
mà
for the rest of
chơi
the game here. TP just their
bé
own-
bé
lịch toàn ngồi gõ ban cho tìm file đi này
Đấy, bây giờ bãi bây giờ Felix đã
mà phải ra cặp phải ra cặp
các bác phá này, các bác phá này.
This is a problem, you know, when you're trying to disengage, get away. Yes, you got the turtle, but you can't get away from the fight. You know,
máu nè bập
hold on.
của bà ti của bà kia máu tia
Has the Moscow voice changed?
Một số rồi nhá mà chỉ cắt
But he has hit the SODs significantly so for the past 7 minutes. It's just, you know, the one time he pressed it, they still lost.
That's true, that's true. Oh, no, he's actually gonna be in trouble
nó
now.
lên du mà
Kozen?
Okay, he finds a dash to the other side. PPP looking for
mà
one.
combo về đây
Finds Kozen regardless.
dạ mấy ngày mới team fight có ra ban cho team fight thì Freya cầu lột
A snare set by the Burmese.
This is what I was talking
gái mà Freya rồi Freya biết số nào còn lôi rồi thoát có bạn đã tí lấy nha kìa
It's that much more difficult because you have that ability to be dragged.
còn đã tí đây là thom mà nâng nó đã tí là nó bị trâu nó đã kia lập
Just having a heyday, jumping in. I mean, this
Cái
is
mình
a
gì nữa
composition that can just cut off
gái nó
all your
tơ là có
combos
tích á tơ là chú xin
right
tích
away. You got a Guinevere. There's, you know, I feel like even
chú
for
xin
Blake,
Freya nè
it's been kind of
tập
low
cái
key
hero
what
quả
he's
này bị
been able
combo
to
cái
do.
này bay nè đi lên mà chú bạn to
Box.
Essentially what we've been
gái nó bằng lừa Moscow chứ ba mấy Moscow
thì môi vô free đó
we could win with the ease, with the more
ba mấy Moscow ơi
ta ngọt thấy cái độ
bông mô này thì muốn lên rank with me ở job hay ra mà tới này mới nhắc này thì này
You know,
it's a tetrahedron.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that seems to be working so well with a mobile lineup like this. Now this Lord's coming up here. Pro Esports has really struggled, aside from Coily, again, being on this matcha. We've seen it before, you know, the little drive-bys, but trying to get this retribution. Okay, he's not going to get thrown up in the air with that spatial migration. Right now,
cái ngày cái block entry point này entry point này play châu mau này
you've got a push down bot from Kozin. Massive fight.
Valkyrie's descent, Ying versus 3. Make that 2. SOD throw.
thôi bay up cho đi wow phải ra có mùi thôi mà chơi nhâm tới dương to kêu 10 game đang thở bay mùi rồi nó này nhưng thả bay mùi này to kê
on this Freya, you know, when he goes Valkyrie form, that's enough to go ahead and keep a lot of the members of Pro Esports at bay. And then it was a great time to just allow the Claude to come in. Sanji, again, 4-0-3. Just having a massive game. This is much more early than what we're used to for Claude's kind of popping off already, having this many kills, but you can already see it. The follow-through off of the setup is what's working so well. Now, Lord will charge into
có đó
this mid.
có ngó bắt đấy
But it's not going to
ăn ngó đi
be
ngó rồi nha
throwing these spears out. Coily in trouble. With the results, the damage reduction ain't enough. It's a 1-for-1.
phần mềm mà lót đấy này
Right beneath them is their turret. Bottom lane shield goes down too. This is defensive Black Dragon form.
Okay, they can use it. Swinging around. Sorry on Felix.
ngó
Trying
bắt
to
đấy
help here.
anh thầm mà lót đấy mà lót đấy
But gets choked back and slammed. 3 have fallen to try and defend.
They'll take this last turret here. Kozen's still up, Pete. Jumping in with that concealed. Just wants to get them off of this. They don't want this game to end just yet. Can they hold this base
một
defense?
cây nắng bền tu sền nhạc lên tê nhà qua nhạc lên
PPP not strong enough
em ở đâu
hold out
Cái bông một pha có gan vào đấy mày.
Buồn tiếng. Này try.
Such a quick victory here for Yangon Galacticos, just barely reaching that 11-minute mark. It just feels like they switched the switch to go. They went on go very quickly.
Game mà Moscow game bây giờ team pha có ở đai ban để làm mấy quảng ta cái sống tranh luôn. Game nó chấm
bài mơ con phim mà tránh.
Đây thôi đi mùi. Cái pick on này, rồi mới cái pick on long này. Game ngọc chu mùi hay, ngọc gọt. Thì tiếp ngọc gọt, nè gọt ngọc lại nè, ngọc gọt mới thiệt. Nè cái do kill early ban rồi. Hay là Pecho đâu lại thò lắm cho mới. Mà Pecho thật thò lắm. À gọt nó à pi anh chặt đánh sầu cho mà. À pi này.
Yangon Galacticos up by a significant. Purifies all off of cooldown on Yangon. Ying and Bling just.
Mà pi khinh map gọt đó. Mau này phải tơi vô mà. Tơi này ban. Tơi giống nó là sao có đưa ban cho để nó mấy cái xấu nói này. À pi anh chặt đánh sầu nữa.
Còn mà sao mày muốn bắt đầu anh kia. Mơ cái mỏ thôi, dương miếng đi. Nó than kia bố.
Admin the make. Hãy cho cái đốc kê này cho camera này. Mới combo gin anti camera mới tiên này mà tăng tiên ạ. Anti camera hãy có admin the make đi lại rồi. Đã sai có này có ban điều là mấy gì. Anh ấy bị sốn trên ban này nó hẳn đi là p sốn chính bị bom mà bay khỏi vậy nhỉ. Cây nhật. Anh ấy cho mà admin the make đi, admin the make đi. Bởi chỗ lúc lấy nó qua cổ cho mong bạch mau rồi.
Nói không? Dừng tôi mới.
Cây nhật.
Lên là đi.
Nhà này là pe này video ạ. Bây giờ game nó trâu mà cái đốm mà camera đã tí thấy kia vay mũi thử phèo, mũi thử bua nó rồi mũi thử bay. Cái mà cái đốm này, mà cái đốm nó trâu mà. Kia là camera nó không nó được.
Ở đây.
Hay gót Salati cái nhật. Để sai game cái phone gót chính bắt đây gót bả chỗ là game nó không. Hello ta kia hello chăm. Mơ mà khơi là tranh Trapanate early oi kill key. Ở đây cái này dân ăn bị phía gần ta dân ăn bị phía gần ấy à nó dân bị phía gần game này. Ta bây depend lượng player đấy đi. Player lên cá trong do ta mấy việc trong nó lên cá để chưa nhắm. Để pha nhắm đằng. Hả? Làm sao? Chứ mà dương này phải dương lên vậy. Ta dương lên cá ta dương thời tránh vậy.
After this replay, we got to take a look at the items here, but this
one chop live ngày screen not full on minute prep.
This is what we're talking about, the threat, that AoE threat of this lineup that is there for Yangon Galacticos is so deadly, and you wouldn't expect the clan to be able to go ahead and get.
Vậy tới vì mà miền này dân miền này mistake early màn tích đai rồi là.
Sanji scale up even more at this point, so you know, fighting into that is something.
Lại dân tranh kia là pe thiên phái game khinh cái thôn gọt dân tranh là hồ rồi. Này là thôi thì bay rồi. thì mới gọt chứ. Cái hạt Freya với mặt sầu này nè. Freya với mặt sầu này nè. Chắc là có được hột tranh thiên phái ạ. Cái hạt. Bây gọt hột tranh khinh nên nắng bay giật cái bùn này cái sầu cái vay với nhỉ. Cái vay mà khỏi nè. Năng là biểu dương analyze game á, năng biểu dương vậy ta mơ game. Khi nó pe đàn này bị sầu tranh ra có này ban phở skill này. Về đây gọi là ban phở skill. Admin là có này nấy cái vay cái đốc vô mà nó sai cái camera chu xin chắc là trâu mất cái vay rồi là ta game nó dương tranh kia early hơi nè dương tranh kia là thôi TP nè thấy hả nó bây giờ bị trâu tay trắng mà nói lên với kia nè thấy hả tay nhóm bữa nhóm á bởi mẹ nhóm kết đó nó lại nó Moscow của ta đi một Moscow ta của ta farm lên do farm mà bảo chẳng thấy do trade của trận này nhá mà clear mid lên chứ after miền này lên nhá là thằng kia cho team fight thôi này cái nhặt dương trade ní dương ban ní thiệt dương ban clear lại này dương ban miền lại team fight lên một kia bây game Moscow farm UP. bây giờ biết cái máu bay ngon mà cười kìa game cái này thật khó cái ban lên ai lên một kia một lại nó ngon quá ai lên một kia game kia hero slash early nè bull hero nè Freya kín camera bull hero slash early là fail early là cái vay tay bực game khang dương odd fail early á vay kia mình tay là sao dương fail early.
Been kind of low key what he actually thought we could Galacticos has is where that box is, and it's a circle. So, you know, that seems to be working so well with a mobile lineup like this.
Hello, Big Face, hello. Dạ nó dương hiện tranh tay cái đây mới lại lót phai thì buồn nè cái chạy kia cho bật entry point vô mà trắng nó về lại bật entry point giờ mới này lên rồi. Cái thu máu tốt. Tụi bay to chủ xin là toàn ca toàn dính là toàn ca bên kia còn thơ xe lộn đó nó là thoát là một cái akron bên lôi vậy châu đặc tí cái đá một cái lập tí churi boom bùa
that all when he goes Valkyrie form been off so well. Now Lord will charge into this mid turret.
BPP finds a kick, serves up one.
Game ngọc biến thay ngọc đi trên đây. Game fail early tới nhưng bạn lên một cái mở từ bạn là game dương. Ta dừng lên fail early à bọn fail early game cái min lôi. Game phân nó cái min quay vô. Show game cái lôi trời cái bay dương này ta bữa game nó cho đó là game kia từ bên này lên mà dương nhạc lại fail early lo cho màu đài thác lại nó không cách ha ba team fight chẳng mơ cả lại trang kia bánh máu bán con gỗ luôn ai cũng sến con gỗ luôn mà họ lôi đại do một làไปโจ mau chứ hạt farm á một cái hạt farm làไปmột cái hạt farm tới tạm bắt lấy thời seal lấy nó riêng thời do on này bắt là đi thời off field rồi thôi nhỉ
They lost more turtles than they
này sẽ cháy à
when you look at the map, it's turrets for turtles. Which one you would rather have?
Nhưng cái bay dùng đôi bot trong việc strike tiếp. Game chứ nè, anh cái phải cho Ura vào.
Yep. And we actually have some plays to back up everything that we've mentioned about the draft, even leading into this one. All right, so I need you this time around.
Man, look at the teamwork here.
Mùi sâu.
And you're leaning, no one's standing or anything. We're like composed to start off knockouts.
Game mùi dân toi cái này dừng. Nhưng ta tắt đây, game bay màn bay.
Pro esports
Tụi
really
ta chỉ thấy lớp bóng sạch ha.
this first fight. Once that first fight wants to play out. What's happening? Hey. Whatever. Okay, we can just go ahead and look at this. All right, so you see how we go back to it once again real quickly. Sa left behind, that is cardinal sin when you're going up against a lineup that wants to dive and you have one major damage dealer in the early game. I feel like they also put too much value on their Moskov being able to be a major presence in terms of the damage. Look what happens to Sa. Once their formation is broken like that, they got no damage. No matter what kind of combo that you get, you already have heroes under your belt here. The ultimate of the Carmilla. It's not going to be a good time. And then with that going down really quickly, without their gold, you see how quickly they're crumbling. They're able to get the turtle, sure. But this is where, again, we go back into the Freya getting left unchecked. Coin will just get slashed through by this Freya. The rest of Young Galacticos will be able to recover from not being able to get the turtle. Because again, look where Sa needed to go. He had to loop around behind the wall, loop all the way back to the turret, leading to Ying being able to get the double kill. And this was after we saw that big fight earlier for, I believe that was turtle number 2, where we get to see a classic return to some old rotations where after you win turtle 2, you downloaded
Philly,
already. You know what?
Philly,
Just circled it in the map. Where you could go to the center of the map and be able to break the tower. You don't see it here, but the tower goes down so quickly because of how many members of Pro went down. The minions were crashing in. They maximized the gold in the turret and mid, and then were able to break it. After that, that's pretty much GG. It would take a miracle for Pro to lose this game.
It's an interesting thing because you mentioned Saw's rotation, but looking at that, I think he chose to get into the fight quickly because the turtle was in the middle of it. But because he got pressured from that angle, he had to abandon the entire fight. If he had gone a little bit, and again, this is just looking at what you showed me, where he tried to end up going, that took a while once they were all dead. Maybe that patience, but again, he's working against, like you guys had said, tempo. We got to win fast. We got to win turtle. We got to win early. And so, of course, he's taking the quickest route. It just seemed like maybe there was more to do than there was that they could do in that early game. Mentioning this matchup, sorry, I'm Felix and Ying. Felix 4-0 again. Several members. I think it was 4 by the time I looked at it in the green room. It might have been 3 or stayed 4. They did not guys, this is just they've got to find an answer.
Yeah, strong side lanes with the utility in the center. Even though Han went down 3 times, they're fine with it because their Freya's untouched, their Cloud is untouched, their Juicin was ripping through the formation and the play style of Pro. With all of that said, yeah, that was their game to lose.
This is what makes Young on Galacticos so scary, right? Because they can play the utility game. They can also play some of those assassins if you leave it open. The Fanny, again, we've seen from Han as well. Not as scary as the utility game because, man, when they get those picks on Ying, when Ying's able to just carry, it's so, so good. But, again, back to the point at hand here.
You mean the fact that Rhino Day is available in the shop? That too. We've been talking about. I mean, that's been the whole conversation. No, well, if you're not paying attention, basically, yeah, YG won game 1, but Rhino Day is here. New interactive effects. Grab those emotes, spam them to show your support, whether it's YG, whether it's Pro Esports, whether it's MSC in general. I love MLBB being so proactive about supporting the esport. That's a great thing to see. Mirko, back to you.
So, again, for Pro, it's just understanding your identity, playing with it, right? You don't win championships by playing something that is completely out of your own, comfort zone. You still have to stick to your own comfort, and the comfort for them is clearly assassins, man. They cannot play that front-to-back composition. They need Coily on a carry. They need, hey, I love you too, man. Thank you so much. God. All right, but yeah, play that aggressive game. Control the tempo. Dictate it. Go crazy.
I get who's Renmar signs.
No, bro. Everybody loves Renmar.
I don't even want to say the sign. Renmar can't stop laughing. Even FaceTiming the homies to be on camera.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's a true homie right there.
I love it. Ban the Dark Triad.
Freya,
Atlas Ling. What's the other one? Fanny? I'm guessing it's Fanny.
It was something Ixia.
It was Ixia.
I like that. Hey, I think you just gave our writers a new idea. Whoever made that Dark Triad sign,
Dark Triad.
Thanks for the idea.
Okay, do a MOBA Zone pick. I hope these have been approved. They have been. Saber. Okay, pick Saber. I mean, we do know that basically the assassin jungle is so important, and they committed to the ban out. They saw the Ling and the Fanny. They said, well, we'll ban the Harara. Let's go away from it. But you've been mentioning they can't do that again today. So now it's a completely different approach. YG's still going to ban the Ling, but they're not participating, it looks like, on the side of Pro Esports.
And this is where it'll be confusing for Pro Esports, right? Because I know exactly what Young and Galacticos are doing now. They're banning out the Ling, they're banning out the Marcel. I think the Fanny will come next, and they're going to leave it open now. You want to go Hirara or Freya? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I think YG will walk away with the winning trade.
Yeah. They're really centering on the EXP Freya trade.
There you go, right? This is the Fanny van, and then Pro is going to be
early,
I don't think you want to let go of the Freya.
Yeah. But then I think it's also a tough call for Pro because they know that the Esmeralda is going to be coming through. Oh, they banned it out.
The Fanny. Oh, that's what
they
want.
All right, so we saw Yangon play a little bit more
into
whip out the assassin through the Fanny.
They go straight up Eudora, Belleric, and then Fanny Red 3 here, no?
Yeah, Eudora will be good, Belleric will be good.
Never go up, never go up.
I I was about to say Selena, but all right, Eudora's not bad too. Oh. Barrett's early on.
2-0 on Barrett so far. YG have played him twice. They've won twice.
I love the development of the meta, man. Barrett's early, especially in this situation, just creates so much confusion for Pro because they themselves banned out the Uranus. It looked like they wanted to get their hands on the Barats. But even if Pro go for an Esmeralda, something of a counter against the Barats, this is still a flex pick knowing Young on Galacticos. They can put it into the hands of Han. So now as Pro, you don't know what to go.
Right. Yeah. I think if I'm Pro, I'm looking at what you pair up with the Barrets and the Matilda. Does Yangon really want to play Matilda roam and then Eudora mid? If Pro's idea to that is the answer is no, then expect that this Barrett is going EXP.
A safe choice for Pro right now. Oh, I was going to say, a safe choice would be a Lilia to have a way to deal with the Barats anywhere it goes. But they instead go for the Selena and the Belleric. This should be where the Fanny comes around, right? There's not a lot of crazy lockdown. They can ban it out later, like the Moskov ban.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about something like a Badang showing up. The only thing that Pro Esports could come in through a surprise is if that Barrett is going EXP. One very old answer to that is to rock a Cho in the EXP so that you get that pick off up against that Fanny. But let's see if Pro remembers that and if that can actually translate to the current metagame today. If this is Fanny, Pro Esports are going to be scrambling to look for options. But no, they don't want to show it yet.
The benefit is they just don't show their cards.
Yeah, there's still so much flex, man.
It's all flex except the Eudora.
Yeah, except the Eudora. Pro is probably scratching their heads right now where to go because they can't pick up the Vexana anymore. They already showed the Selena. Yangon is on something else.
I mean, from an EXP perspective, they played Barats, like I said. They played Uranus there. They played Ruby, character that's come up and flex both gold and EXP. They've tried the double fire.
And you can play blue and XP too. It could be roll, it could be XP. This Barats could be XP, could be jungle. I don't think we can say it's going to go gold, huh? That's out of the equation. But they ban out the Fanny, so Pro respecting that, knowing Young on Galacticos. So again, there's still that possible Nolan that's a good pick against the Hirara as well.
And it'll be good. You have a very strong EXP in the Barrett. You have a very annoying Roam in the Glue. They ban out the Fanny and Harley. If ever they do want to lean towards playing the Assassin, this Nolan will be fine.
Brand comeback.
For the gold lane
But let's go 4 card thì full comeback DG 3 card Pro Sport comeback thì you 4 card mình đã comeback mình năng mình ban tì.
They're brave with it.
Trust the process. Trust process. Trust coin. Trust này trust bao phải bao sầm rám.
He's feeling it.
I mean, he did
trust truth. TRUTH.
Don't want to compliment him too much. Remember,
I mean, they've won twice, and now this could be the 3rd time, so nothing has gone wrong when they pick the Claude. So I think a comfort pick is available. They ban out the Hereth, which is the only other highly prioritized laner.
Runs up with the Moskov again. Sanji handled the duel against the Moskov, but let's see if maybe a quick little adjustment by Kozen is enough. I wonder if they have room to put this back. But no matter the permutation that you think about, Yangon is going to walk away with a great advantage. Favorite Lapu the EXP.
Vài sinh gì đã chọc bay
man, that CC Immune's gonna have to come clutch before the detonate as well. There you go.
Mẹ đó cú sến linh slow pick bông.
Baksha, it is Baksha. All right.
Cú sến linh lười biếng là nó linh. Cái phí ở bên party đi chơi váy đi đá. Gửi đi. Nhưng thành ra pro.
Yeah, this is a fast clearing jungler. This Herrera is not gonna have a good time. The lack of AoE also from Pro. Yes, I know they have the Belleric and technically AoE from the damage comes in single targets. But in 5v5s up against a Moskov, which I don't think they're gonna do.
Knowing YG, I want Ying on a carry. I want Ying on a damage dealer. Oh, what?
They run
Wait.
Isn't that kind of weird?
That is weird.
Fit your fancy. YG.
Tôi vui lên ban còn tay bờ khăn với khăn hay tao game viêm miên early của game fail tôi vui bóc game cháu này tại game fail early tôi vui bóc game cháu rồi game đi tôi vui ọt tủ lên Tra Pro game đi không à lạnh Tra Pro không game đi khơi máu đi dừng khơi đi đi dừng khơi phi xả
with the Suyo. Wow, this is going to be interesting right here.
Very interesting decisions indeed. This could be a messy start for both. As always,
năng này được ta game mình được ta cú sến chi dâm tăng cho team fight chuẩn bị nhưng năng pro mà ra hello bóng tôi
hoping it goes a little longer than 11 minutes.
They definitely want a longer game here if you're Pro Esports.
game này Tra Pro không khả năng là early còn mid early người kia mid game còn lên late game còn lên này nhưng tới hype được ta nhưng không
We haven't seen it too much. It kind of fell off a little bit after the nerfs, but maybe this is one of those cases where, you know what, the Harara's got all this mobility. Let me just be this Suyo and have try to match.
Nice, so it's not just the fact that it's the Harara on the other side, it's the fact that Pro Esports are now playing with a more...
đã kia thì pi ai nè chạy
Even
thế
Rainbow
nào
knows that there's something up with this weird Suyo from out of nowhere.
Yeah, could definitely struggle, but it's one of those cases where, if anything, Yangon Galacticos has really showed us that they're really good at just playing as a team. You know, playing team-centric. Has worked so well for them. And yeah, even if we look at the emblems here, you know, it's not too much that we have to worry about outside of Galacticos because if Sanji has a similar game to what he had just previously, your Claw's going to scale up much quicker, you're much more deadly to that. And we all know this. These...
cái cung phi họp bạt bịt họp bạt
From Eudora striking like lightning.
I don't even have to finish what I was going to say because I was going to talk about the Eudora fan and how good she's been in this tournament for MSC, but just in the meta in so far the past couple of weeks even. And you see that early on, you look at the replay brought to us by STC.
là sao này mà đi đạp siêu trôn pi này cái nhặt
This
nó
is
siêu
why we say it's kind of busted, man. I mean, and then the flicker forward to capitalize on the double.
You know, it was compounding effort. Real quick.
tiểu bay với nhá xe này họp bạt đấy một tổng bay người đó thúng lên trắng ngoài đã chạy chậm cho ngoài đã chạy thử bệnh chết à y ra lắm đi game này đó không mà lại phải lơi vào đây nè tôi yêu min lôi y ra min lôi thứ
No, sir. That's the first turtle going to Yangon.
Okay, so our whole concern with the Suyo isn't even the first point to worry about. It's Kaze just getting another kill off KO. 4-2 under 3 minutes.
Kaze the killer. He is chasing Coily and Kozin's kill records from the groups.
He's taking him to the
do mình mong do pick môn còn dân vi trend mà dân là thái dân do hi là ra môn rồi hay là pick thì pi vi do đi do hi là ra perfect mong hi ra mùi cái hi ra mùi bà rát
especially when she hits level 2 you get one item and you can almost at this point with this kind of lead you can basically just one shot someone with a combo. Hell, even if you get two, you're even more of a threat.
Nice mount here, coming in. Han, deal a lot of damage. Ying scores another. Denton is welcome. Will he spin now? There's no one left to bite.
Yeah.
Vậy đó bây giờ perfect khi là ra hỏi pick cái do y ra bà rát bắt đây nè nó này cái do lên mới ra fail early.
You got tanky enough heroes too for YG to go ahead and deal
cái này bớt fail early là cú cắt con này y ra chọn là cú cắt trâu này
synergistically between the glue and also Kaze and
Eudora làm ở đây không game toàn tranh đấy nhưng fail early hoàn thì rồi nhưng min lật game min ai lên cả
just like what we saw the interaction in the previous game when you had that Jushin Sanji goes back to BMI, he's going to be safe, but this is the hard part here, Leo, is for Pro Esports. Where is that opening? Where is that opportunity then for them to actually get something here? Because originally we thought it would be these arrows with the Selena, maybe the Belric play.
I'd say it's off of a perfect arrow, which Sa hasn't yet found.
Yeah.
The best chances would have been before the turtle or during those early skirmishes, but I don't know, something about Sa and Yangon just being so far up front throws off the accuracy.
And you know what the problem is? Even if you land an arrow in your Sa and it's not Kaze, you're going to get stunned and bursted down anyway. So you have to be able to land it on the right target. Right now, that's Kaze. And he's playing so well protected around the team here. Second turtle up, they're going to fight for it.
Throws it out, Han secures with retribution.
Nhựa là pu à. Ngóp sập đón. Ngon nữa. Ngọt bình. Chẳng năng là pu cục kia thì môi thời.
Pro on the board. 2 for 3. But the turtle still goes over to the Burmese.
Again, they got Kaize. They shut him down, but at what cost? You know, at this point, Yangon Galacticos is happy to go ahead and just take what they want. Objective. Now they're going to take some tier 1 turret in the mid. They get a Sky Piercer on Han. They build up forward more momentum in this game. You know, all this happening and a 4,000 gold lead at the 5-minute mark. Sanji and Blink and the rest of the team are here. Kaize so deadly with a dangerous grass as well.
Coily looking to take down Blink, takes a few glue limbs out on the way. 5.5 minutes in, Joseph, I gotta say. Sanji's been getting the gold lane experience once again.
Fail early, fail mid Thailand, fail sang gọi cái tia này đâu early like gì đâu.
You know, he's just able to go ahead and hold his own, but just rely on the rest of the team to be here. He's so aggressive with it too against Kozin. He knows Kozin needs some more time.
Mày kêu miên lôi về bên mà buồn đòn hơi.
Lên tán này,
không dám lên tán.
Tụi
bô của bán này dám bà cái lũ.
How both gold laners decide to play around it, but you can just see the clear lead right now that Sanji has as he looks to take down that tier 1 turret. They might just go for a swap here, give up this turret over to YG as they scale in forward.
With 30 seconds before the turtle spawns, I feel like there's just too much on Sa's shoulders. Sai trying to plant snares. Sai trying to throw out lethal arrows on the right target, mind you. It seems to be Blink right now, but even with all these ults thrown out, Blink might SRV steps in. Time at PPP. Punches a bit of the ground. A little bit of a kill. Some respite from Pro.
Yeah, a bit of a baby step in the right direction that Pro Esports needs. Again, they need to slowly build up here in their own favor. And you know, at some point, you just gotta get what you can take.
Oh, Han is 2 levels up on Coily. Despite the man advantage for Pro, the retribution count is just so much higher. Look, Yangon will secure this easy peasy.
Yeah, even without Blink, you know, there's just too much of a threat right now for YG's lineup. And like you said, I think this is a big part. It's so much responsibility for Sa to land these arrows. You know, usually when we see these Selenas picked up so far throughout MSC, yeah, you're able to play around the arrows, you know, you're able to go ahead and follow through, but that's if you're not down so much in the early game. So now, again, your arrows, even if you land them, you don't essentially have this free reign to just go follow up, get that kill, have the team make it, because it's all just a risk up to this point. Still holding up almost 3 levels now against Coily here. This tier 2 being threatened on the bottom side. Oh, both junglers up on this top side too. We might actually have 2 fights break out.
Oh, it's not just 2 junglers, it's Ying as well. High frames on Coily dashing through the wall, but Han pursues Sever to take him down. Coily bites it.
And this is why it sort of made sense that the Suyo came through with the Hirara on the other side. At least in some way or another, you have some mobility options yourself to catch up after those high frames and Hirara's dashing around herself.
I mean, one might argue if Hirara has 4 skills,
he's got 6.
4, he's got 6. Just counts for especially since down so much. And now, as you can see, Kaize has taken a little bit of a back foot. Maybe second, third try when it comes to damage output. When it's this down bad, the Selena has so much more to deal with, and PPP can only do so much. It's an honest trade, dude. From Sanji as you used to in game 1.
There's none of that flicker combination, you know, that we usually see with Belrix, for example. You need the Revitalize here, though, too, because if you do break out into a team fight and they try to follow through, eventually, if they can extend it, they'll have some of that magic resist to build up, especially on that front line, to help extend, because there is some potential there. Just like you saw in the one previous Turtle, where Sarium Felix could burn a flicker, just find Kaize and take out that option.
Detna's welcome. Throw it into the wall. Now the dash and the sever, putting BBB down. Han scores. Sky Piercer stack. Yes, please. Sarium Felix brings Spider back. Not enough damage reduction as Han gets a double. Another stack. And now the Lord up next.
ở đây bộ vì tới dương trăm mới tạo các fail tạo một song phái chưa người mấy hero dương tạo fail tạo một phái của nó bạn tung bây giờ khi đó lên game sợ là pro chui thì tại là pro chinh của bài thiên trên là slam bui trên máu chùa là pro cái mà là pro miên tổn miên ấy cái gì là biscuit đây cái lô biscuit á ý là lúc lọc một cây ban muối chọn được rồi.
As if talking about a misery wasn't enough, Han does it again. 5-1 and 5. The penultimate hero of the M6 World Championships are back. 10K almost up, Joseph. 9,500 gold for Yangon Galacticos. They're about to pop so many holy shields.
Mà đại siêu mà isn't even halfway through the river.
Man, it feels like the 2 days that we had between groups and now knockouts has taken us back 2 months, you know, in terms of the meta.
2 years with Suyo.
2 years even, yeah, in some cases, because Suyo popping off this way. Again, it takes the team to make it happen. Again, a Queller, Soul Sever, enough to break Sorry Felix in half. But now they got to deal with this Lord. That's your front line.
Holy Shield already popped. Yangon Galacticos can force the issue here. They choose to take the disciplined route.
Welcome.
No, he can just cancel this. He's fine.
Just throwing some dirt in the back. Okay, they defend against the Lord. They lose a bit of that health on the turret though, but all the shields pretty much nearly dealt with here. Let's take a quick look at the items. You can see the disparity across the roles here. You know, at most, the closest that you have is between the XP laners, but, you know, for Ying, he has one job, and that's just use that Daytona's welcome, tank up a bunch of damage. He's already got great coverage. You know, Radiant armor for that magic, Chastised Pauldron, plus the anti-Caress here. He's as tanky as he pretty much needs to be to set things up around that ultimate.
Not to mention Blink, who's just about to get his flicker back.
Tuy là chỗ đó mid game á, bây giờ team mình đi ăn game cho ba mươi lên dương cái phạt min tay như là pu chơi như này là pu chơi slam rồi.
Already able to be built the cursed helm that stacks with Eudora's superconductor.
Yeah, there's this.
Phải early bổng bot ra early thì nó cũng
through some of that magic resistance that's trying to be built up even by pro esports.
And that's just 2 of them. That's just Eudora and the glue.
Yeah. Again, Ying, tanky.
Oh, flicker! Then the Volga throws it into PPP as he's forced to take root, and Han serves up another, gets another stack, and then comes one more as Sa falls. Might be another Blink down to about a 10th of his HP. He finds him underneath.
Anh lôi à, đi xích.
His first kill in this 11.5 minute
game. Lại mong muốn mang đáp ấy đúng không?
Did the damage anyway. 3 down for Pro Esports, facing down 4
members
of Yangon Galacticos. They don't have their gold laner, but they will still be able to take this mid base turret down.
Đây.
At the veterancy, the wisdom of Yangon Galacticos. They could have forced it. Any other team who's this close to victory would have forced it, but nope, they saw the Lord will take it.
Let's
just go for the sure win.
Yeah, they have to go ahead and delay this. They don't want to whip here. If they actually started this Lord too much without Sanji being up now that he's alive. They don't want for Pro Esports to go ahead and steal the Lord. Mà lót nó có ai ngóp, có ai phá các bạn này. Được, về bên đây vãi dương mà. 10,000 gold deficit. Pro Esports is centering around the Lord. This might be one of those cases where they just trying to make a play happen here. Still going to be used by Blink.
Blink finds the back line, compromises Sa, forcing Sorry, Felix back. Felix does oblige, tries to fight back. Sa gets knocked out by the Lord.
Coi lý anh xoa nào. Đốt mau, cùng chui cái này đốt mau. Đốt mau, để em lên đi nè. Lên phải chiêm nè, ta cho tới bên đây mau Vinh.
Has that ultimate available, so taking one down, Pete will be back up for this defense, but Lord's already secured here for YG. They've had complete control from the moment this game got underway.
Some respite, Joseph. A little bit of a silver lining for the Cambodian fans. Almost max stacks on Han. That's not it. What I'm trying to say is, Pro has come back from worse.
Yeah.
If you remember their clincher,
đây vòng top ban lo trâu mau mid món này
they have fought tooth and nail to take back that final.
Lẹ tinh mau.
Mà nó lên
Mà nó lên. Real quick, another dead as well from Ying. Coiling on down. Blazing away in the face. Felix falls 2 down. I'm not sure they can defend.
Lẹ lo trâu theo tinh mau
They still got a lot to deal with here, and it's a fully stacked on 9-1 and 6.
Waves coming from all directions. PPP falls. Sanji takes him down. Lord underneath the base. Down goes Kozin. And just like that, Yangon Galacticos at match point.
Reverse vậy.
But still, nonetheless, the same result. Yangon Galacticos just dominated in game 2 like they did in game 1. And they're pulling heroes that we're not used to seeing, man, the past couple weeks, the past couple months, but it's all executed so well from Yangon Galacticos.
They've dismantled what Pro understood of the metagame.
Yeah.
Piece for piece, role for role, lane per lane. They seem to be thrown back to a place in the metagame that all of us thought was dead and gone. Utility junglers, Suyo in the jungle against what? Meta stars such as Hirara, Bellaric, and Selena.
Yeah. Again, one of the most impressive things about Yangon Galacticos and their trip here.
There's something up with this weird Suyo from out of nowhere.
Yeah, could definitely. Leo, we haven't seen it too much. That yeah, I haven't. Aura's got all this mobility. Let me just be the Suyo and try to match it.
Nice, more proactive lineup.
Yep.
I agree.
Showed us that they're really good at just playing as a team. Out on the side of your Claude's going to scale up much quicker. He has a similar game to what he had just previously. Your Claude's going to scale up much quicker, much more deadly.
Giờ ní xa lên đã cháy kho không kìa. Kho đã cháy này mỗi đã cháy kho lại nè. Hay tổng nó cục skill thì pi kho thiệt. Hay là cục skill thì pi kho. Cái đánh vai rồi. Lập. Được ra phải lên phải chìm. Thì tăng thì ấy ngọt lại nè. Phép lại nó 10. Cho nó phép đó. Tới châu rạt kỳ. Châu rạt kỳ, ngọt rạt kỳ thì ăn ngọt lại rạt kỳ thì nè.
That's dirty. You know, it was compounding effort. Oh. Real.
Cái này ní ngọt mùi mến. Cái ngọt bầy. Ngọt bầy nè. Ấy pha lại nó tới ai lên mòn hero đi hero gì mà nó cái gì
Man, it just got way worse here.
Pha lại nó phải chành ai lên Ira
Felix.
Ira cái này cái map mà ở đến chơi đó cả.
Okay, so
hay tao nó barat nó chạm vai lại
with the Suyo isn't even the first point to worry about now. All concern.
Cho vậy ra mình lôi vậy mình mơ kia luôn nè fail game fail pi tăng lại nè đã chạy khó cúp kia thì pi khó
Nice, it's not just the fact that it's Hirara on the other side, it's the fact that
đã chạy mấy thằng nó lên chơi bàn mới đã chạy lại nó muối đã chạy lại ní muối hay tao mau trực tiếp miền khu đảo kia thì muối vậy bên khu đảo kia thì muối trong poke nè trong poke này nè đã chạy khó nữa đã chạy khó muối đã chạy khó hay nếu poke to thì ở đó ba cái lọ luôn cúp kia thì pi khó thiệt hai anh ấy lên về chìm hãy cho khoai kê cho khoai kế ăn Cleland ăn bàn Cleland bán ngọt mà chậu thiệt
ai rồi mà nó flick ban này từ
còn này mà cái lú anh ấy micro với băng men mới cái cục thì mới flicker mà đấy flicker cục kia thì mới ôm mà nè bởi cái này nó bờ sao men flicker còn ngọt này mới OTP vậy vì vay mui ban pi hay chỉ mới pi lại nó tập phe lại đi mới thiệt cho sợ pi được sao ấy đi bom vào này thì dàn bà đã được thêm máu cái này đi ngọt mền ngọt á hoài anh đi màu lập chắc mình vậy nè vì linh focus là sang cái này nó bị đăng thang cây trôi về new việc chẳng tới việc focus phạt ly rồi về mà đó ngọt bay kia thì early cái này nó những phe tư do mà lại ngọt bay kill fail mid p kill phèm kill ngọt pi à ngọt bay rồi thì thấy ngọt bay kia fail mid p phèm kill free là thon muối anh ấy trăm thơ xìa là pu muối tiết còn muối kill cloud double land còn muối kill bên nắng ai ra buôn kill lại chụp cái ná chọn nắng ôn nè
4-0-2 under 3 minutes.
Guy is the killer. He is chasing
Đây rồi,
Coily and goes
never
into
give
kill
up.
records from the
Chủ
group.
động xìa
He's
vô.
taking him to the Thunderdome, man. I mean, there's something.
Bây chẳng ai lên cái game á.
Especially
Game
when
hay
she
là lấy tàu phải Olympic đó tại.
Nice mount. Coming in.
Chu bay.
hell, even if you get
Cái
2,
game nó cái APP lên phải chiếm.
Nice mount here. Coming in.
Thật ra cái này đâu cái chipol này.
Scores another.
again, Pro Esports,
Like
this might be
by
another
cheering
quick
again.
one. You've got
Bạn
10,
make
you know,
play.
Blink burst as well. What we
Ai
saw,
chỉ lên
they
3 y
interacted
ra
in
mới
the
từ.
previous game,
Ai
whether
chỉ
you have
lên
that
3 y
Yushin
ra cái giật phải chiếm còn ở y ra
Pro
bù quá.
Esports here. Because
Game
originally
phá
we
chứ.
thought it would be
Bởi
these
game chứ nhé.
arrows
Phải chiếm
with
nó.
the Selena,
Tôi kêu với ta
maybe
game
the
chẳng phải
Valorant
chiếm nó
fight.
ăn
I'd
mấy.
say it's off of a perfect arrow, which Sa hasn't yet found.
Yeah.
The best chances would have been before the turtle or during those early skirmishes, but I don't know, something about Sa and Young Galacticos being
When you're saw and it's not
Well,
Kaizen. Landed on the right target
Ở hơi
right now.
lên.
That's fight for it.
Cho
Throws
nó
it.
còn
He's
mấy
playing
chơi đó.
so well protected.
Cả pin đi. Dạ pin đi viết sồn dương chạy. Giờ viết sồn dương mau lại nè.
Around
Bên
the
sồn nó
team
phải
here.
cho tam nó có đuôi đi.
Their second turtle
Cho
up.
tam nó có
They're
đuôi.
gonna fight for it.
throws it out.
Khi nhật. Cái bật entry point dương ai
Hans,
nè.
it's yours with the
Cái
retribution.
này cho bên nó một tích.
There you go, taking route. There's VPP.
Một bạt bàn bị ăn ngọc y ra đi. Biên ngọc y ra đi.
Coily first. Kai
Flicker. Nó thử ban này là pu đã skill mà skill toán mà skill thì muối.
VPP. Coily
Hả?
goes down.
Không có
And
gì.
now there's a trade. Finally,
Trade.
Pro
All both gold laners is
Ai lên.
Again, it would have been bursted down, but something like an Esmeralda, right?
Còn
You
là
raised
bông.
earlier that was banned out by them themselves as well, and no mid prio. So what was the idea of the Selena at the end with the Season Hunter if you couldn't burst the neutral objectives, or you can't even get to the neutral objectives first?
It's been 2 drafts in a row where they've drafted their EXP laner for Sario and Felix last, and that is maybe something they need to look at, Mirko, because there's an element to the draft, but as we'll have time to talk about that, before we go on a quick break, I want to just raise this question: is this now an element of the mental? Because you've just lost another set. If we're in group stages, you've just lost again to YG. Now you got one more game, but it's like, geez, can we get over this hill?
Yeah, for teams
Reverse
that love
flip, reverse
momentum,
flip,
that
guy,
love to be the
reverse
one
flip.
setting the tempo, this is going to be a big mental hit. I don't doubt that the coaches are going to quickly get them back into shape again. I mean, they had to crawl to win the Grand Finals in MPL Cambodia Season 10 as well, but it will be difficult.
They're gonna have to run. They can't just crawl back here. Young Galacticos, if you crawl in front of them, it does seem like they're just gonna stomp you down, bro.
Watch out there with that Barat's pick being let through. By the way, if you guys want to be a part of streaming this action, get your opinions in, you're listening to us, well, you can share them by joining the EWC Streaming Creator Program. You might be able to earn dope prizes. I know we've been seeing people stream on our side. Mirko's going live on the bus. We're having chats, and he's earning prizes. So make sure you scan that QR code and join. You might just be able to earn some cool gifts, but also get your voice set. Maybe make a clip. Be a part of this tournament where so many people are coming live and watching online. We appreciate you guys. On the backside of this, we will have Game 3. It may be the final game of our first set of the day, or it could be the start of Pro Esports Return. Either way, we want to let you know there's something cool coming in Acecraft. If you haven't played in a minute, there's co-op in a new mode called We Fly Together.
Ui. Taking fragment. Không cho cả ta. Đây đồ có sức cảm thôi. We fly together. Select the whole kill. Wonderland. Cột vòng. Cái fragment tí á. Được xin đấy cái dân ở đây dân ở tại công to là co cái này dân chui lực tất chất co tại dân ở trên chỉ dân ni chẳng là dân gọi là chui lực tất chất co dân để chia rơi mỗi cái tay dân công to co cái dân
They're not just playing for
game
themselves.
mình tranh mình chia cái này game mình fail cái này rồi game mình thì ni này không phải cái mình dùng sao mà
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the curse. They have defeated You're done.
Season 6បងឯងចូលធីមណា Hello បងនោះបៀចូលធីមដែលគ្នាយើងចង់ឲ្យខ្ញុំចូលទៅ break man ទីវិញយូរមែន Hello បងរ៉ាវី Comeback 3-2 let's go pro let's go
We were there for every click, every clutch,
What the
every
fun.
respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here now. The proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage.
Pro 3 យើង 2 ហ្នឹងឯងត្រូវបងវិសា
Well, Yangon Galacticos have started out with 2, I don't even want to say easy, but I will say complete games. We'll add another C word there for how they've approached pro esports. They've gotten the better end of the draft and then quickly thereafter gotten the better end of the game, gentlemen. Mirko, back with myself, Rainday, here on the desk to break down what can they do. I raised the question to you, Mirko. I'll raise it to Renmar to kick us off.
Maybe hire some mind readers at this point. I don't know.
Fortune teller.
There's something that Yangon Galacticos is doing or how they prep for this. You can see that there's always an anchor point in their draft. Whether it's a ban, whether it's a specific pick, there's always just one thing that's just throwing a wrench every time towards the plans that pro esports has that they just overlook.
And it's also just, man, you can't let those heroes go either. I mean, we can talk about, okay, maybe you should leave the Phobius open. No, you can't. Maybe you can leave, what was the last ban for them? The Atlas open. It's like, no, I don't think so either. So, at the end of the day, they're just going to have to deal with it through outplaying their opponents. So now I'd say focus on your own game, right? Instead of trying to go for just meta picks or trying to deny even YG's picks from game 1, play your style of MLBB, alright? Build around what your strength is. Right now for me, it's Coily on Assassins and everybody else on winning matchups. So get that first. Yeah, okay. So they were already able to take Coily on Assassin box earlier. So maybe does that mean you pick up your pick for Soriam Felix earlier? Because Rainday did point out earlier that means that Soriam Felix was getting his picks always picked last now for 2 games in a row. Which is like not Lapu Lapu, bro. I mean, you're seeing the Barats, you're seeing all
Vinny,
those picks, right? I was thinking maybe you could go for something like an Alice as well. Early on, dealing with the glue as well. So there's so many answers. It's just don't panic, don't overthink. Think of the easiest answer first, right? Easy's better, bro.
គេងប់គ្នាអស់លេងហើយសល់តែសាក់មួយមក200ក៏នៅតែជាសង្ឃឹមដែរគ្នា
Obviously they're building around a lot of different things. You can understand PP also going onto the Belleric because he's had such good games with them. But the way that their draft is complementing each other, there's something missing. YG have had every single time good lane phases and then good team fights that were threatening. Ferrara coming out early for pro, but these bans,
pretty much the same.
They take away the Zushin though.
Oh yeah.
So they don't get counter with that in mid.
They pick up the Heraro for themselves. We're in dangerous grass again, so it looks like pro esports are gonna try and see if they can just remix to a much better ending for them. The draft from game number 2. Yangon still picking up the Eudora, and instead of going for the Belleric rush, which I feel like Yangon is thinking is the pick now that pro esports is looking into the instead of the Barrett's rush, excuse me, they pick up the Belleric, and then now here comes pro. They get their power picks onto Kozin. They get the Harith. He's played 5 games with it and has won 4. They pick up the Uranus, which again solves a lot of their problems, but the Esmeralda's still open. Yangon says, no, we're feeling it. We're picking up the Fanny.
It's just all so good. Again, for Yangon Galacticos, they saw the Uranus ban in game number 2, right? The Uranus ban with the Phobius and the Atlas. Then that's the reason they went for the Barat super early. Even if you countered it, it's going to be flex anyways, but even if you countered it, it won't be a crazy counter like the Uranus. This time around, they go Belleric Eudora, the easy route, and then they see the Uranus on the other side, they don't buy on the Barat instead. Just go for the Fanny because there's no lockdown heroes. Now they get rid of those heroes.
Đi game
The
pi bánh
Cho
ta
taken out
không á nè,
already.
không này thời tranh gì.
With Pro Esports, they're slowly running out of options really.
Game mineral
have
counter,
answers for
mineral
this
early,
family unless
mineral
they can
late
swing
game.
out with a badang in the roam.
Mới mới có chiến tranh trả này cái gì game mà dân liên pha luôn ai nơi early ngọc bit pi nè. Cho ra cái ngọc bay nè. Ai free là thon môi tiên. Mà dân liên pha luôn ai dân không có trả hàng nhiều lần. Lấy từ thứ qua là game chính mà early. Ngọc bit pi
There's a
kill.
lot of CC and there's someone to capitalize on it right there. So you see
Chính
the
mà
game
early
plan.
ngọc bit
This,
pi
I feel
ngọc bit pi kill.
they're just getting the people
Hay
who
chính
need
mà
to do
pe
well
đó
from Kozen to Sarian
pe cái máu từ về ra cái ngọc bay ta thêm điệt. Nó pha phân năng cái team nào top
I
chop
mean, I
điệt.
feel like
Bây giờ
to
pha lên.
counter this assassin matchup, you do
ní
need
hè.
something strong.
Mà còn
and
linh pha
Crowley
lên
needs
mà
that
bị trả
heroic.
hay.
So at this point,
Trả thông mà.
do you feel that this
Nhưng
is a
lấy screen hỏi
better
nhưng
draft,
này
at least
đặt.
a better attempt?
For Pro Esports,
Yeah,
still, yeah,
Là
for
vậy
sure.
sao ơi?
I mean,
Trả
we
hero
asked for
dương
them to
mình
get
tới
their
kia nó
Sarian
bằng phim
Felix
quay
hero
dương
much
chừng mình kìa.
earlier. They get Coily an assassin. They get the power pick into Kozen's hand. Now they can just adjust for roll mid. I feel like the previous drafts they
Thì
were
cái
looking
bạn
at
xe
roll
nào
mid way too early, and then now decided, okay,
Là
let's
xe
switch it
ná
up, let's
nó
get
là
side lane
xe ná vì
prio,
không thể
and
ý được
then
ra.
we
Tại mà
adjust our
dân
roll
linh
mid
pha
later.
early tới bạn bay ở ý ra lại
too,
chừng.
right? This time they have the prio on Uranus, tempo advantage for sure, and XP guaranteed. So it could work as long as they get again tempo and mid with the Hirara.
Yeah. Don't you think Pro might need to ban out an Alice here?
Game này miền
They
là
might.
không
Yeah, I think it's a very,
miền
very
hero
good
mới là ai lên
combination.
ban
Someone
với
that can
này.
actually deal with the Uranus as
Với
well.
thằng ai lên ban game này.
That Alice gets
Just how
let
mean stand
through.
up kêu.
We've seen the Ruby picked up, also from YG.
Để sao dân miền cộng
They
hòa
get
tự miền
gold
game.
lane bans instead, so
Tự
they really
tranh
want to get
game
a
này
better
từ
matchup
pro.
with gold.
Yeah, again, they're just trying to win those matchups. Hirara pick and then winning those matchups individually. So I like the approach from Pro already. Much better than game 1, game 2, but
Bởi sao?
yeah, I completely forgot about that pick. My favorite pick as well, Melissa. Oh God.
And it's tough because if you go for something like Vexana, you're just going to get eaten up. Now they're forced to play the Valentina, but you have no more reach.
Croc.
You go for the Badang as expected, but they cannot reach this Melissa.
No, they cannot.
So that could be a win condition there. YG again.
Alice.
Yeah.
Just close it out with an Alice, or maybe even a Glue. Not really. No, I'd prefer the Alice.
Game này lên ban là
They're feeling feisty. The Sora, technically, there's already the Valentina, but it's going to be mid, right?
Giờ nào chơi pro đã tại đây trên xong được
Final
dương
pick
á
from
được
YG.
quạt trời.
Wonder if YG are already thinking that they've won this and they're taking
Cái
their
này dân
sweet
game
time
tụi bay chỉ
with the
tranh
last
rồi tụi bay chỉ
pick.
xin rồi dân dân chỉ dân đâu tập chất coi lại ban sờn nhưng mà tôi đây. Nếu tha trăm là tha nè phơ bàn vào ba.
They found it.
Ruby.
It's the
You
Ruby.
called it. You called it. Good, great call, Rain Day. Okay. The anti-dash, the pull, they have the combo. A lot of stopping power for the Melissa. This is all in the Melissa. But again, they still have the Eudora. They could easily snowball early on. The Fanny. Theoretically, this looks perfect for Yangon, but if any major slip-ups happen early, then Pro has a chance, which is tough because you're begging your opponents to make a mistake.
Drafts have gotten better each game for Pro Esports, but it doesn't have one more game to go. If you don't get the job done here, you're going home. Your key is crushed at MSC. It's time for YG to either move on into the semifinals or Pro Esports is going to push us to another game in this best of 5. Let's send it back over to Naisu and Leo to kick us off.
Boy.
Here we go. It's gotta happen here for Pro Esports. Yangon Galacticos back-to-back dominant games, but will this draft work this time to get us to another game and get Pro Esports one step closer to moving forward? Or will the key get crushed after this one? Yangon Galacticos, Leo, has been so good, so on point. This draft, though, I wouldn't say is as, let's say, guaranteed as the last 2 games.
There's a lot that they're trying here,
Leo là
especially when they threw the Ruby into Ying's hands.
Blink
bullying a PPP out of the mid prio. If there is something I might say is Pro, especially at this precipice, at this pivot point in this match, they're putting it all on Coily and Kozen. They put the comfort picks, the Hirana and the Harith on these 2 players, these imports from the Philippines, to try and turn it around. Super genius what they did though, especially with picking the Valentina in mid, kind of blocked out Ying's Sora.
Yeah, that dealt with it, but I still think that even Ying picking up the Ruby here, you know, it serves the purpose of you just have this crazy amount of crowd control that you can help you catch the hero if you need to. You can help you catch Kozen if you need to.
Reliable damage too.
Yep, damage. But also is a way to pop Purify for Kozen. And you gotta remember too, Kozen, this is a signature comfort pick for him. If I remember correctly, this is, I think it's Kozen on the Hereth that has the most kills in one game.
Him or Coily. Now they're putting so much pressure. Sorry, I'm Felix. Han draws first blood.
Oh, that's tough, man. Again, you do not want to let these early kills, these early first bloods go in the hands of the likes of Han on a Fanny, mind you. You know, to go ahead and just snowball much quicker. And every time a Fanny's in play, you know that you want to go ahead and just kind of put some pressure on that jungle, especially the purple buff, try to stall her out a little bit. But you get this kind of lead, it could be really bad. But first turtle that comes up, they've got the space to work with. Ying's got the level 4. Kaise's still trying to go ahead and cap it out here, just because, again, once he gets that ultimate, that combo is so deadly.
And he will. Dominant position for this first turtle. Blink flushes PPP out of that pixel rush. Has the Dryads, but I don't think that's the best right now. Especially when you're a soft little Valentina at the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, you don't want to just put yourself in that position. Don't really take it slow here. Reset. Han goes back to base, wants to get his purple buff, so maybe they just trade it out. Maybe they decide they don't want to. Really good decision here though from Pro Esports. See that window of opportunity, take it. At least it's something for them. So again, Turtle slow things down a bit. Again, knowing that you have a Hereth in the hands of Kozen, you need to go ahead and allow him to stay alive, build up on there. Melissa's too. You know, there's a reason now we've seen her pop up a couple times throughout the past group stage days, and she can be pretty deadly when she hits that power spike.
Impressive, staying the hand for Yangon Galacticos, but Pro Esports knew what Yangon was doing, and they got in there and got the advantage. Oh my lord. Sorry, Felix.
Bự vì tăng lên gió của bán ấy,
the ready for Kozen's mid-game power spike.
You know
it's know that there's so much attention up there. You would think, you know, on the Uranus up there in the XP lane. We're sorry on Felix.
Whoa. Kaiser. Coming in, but PPP stops the exit. Now here comes the Wrath of the Dryad. As PPP gets taken down, Han and Blink walk away.
Oh wait. Still putting attention up there.
Han walks to the wall. Ying to the rescue. Coily retribution. That's a skill on small.
Alright, that's what Coily needed to do. You can see he's slowly building up a bit of a XP lead also against Han. Even though Han had those early kills, it's just some of his tanks been taken away from him. They've really done a good job. Pro Esports has done a great job of just kind of choosing their fights and slowing down a bit. They're able to catch out Kaise again. This is one of the great things about having that Bedang in the roam in the hands of P. He can actually just kind of take them for a surprise, whether he uses the flicker or not, to set things up for a potential kill. You just have to be able to go ahead and survive once Blink literally comes forward and Wrath the Dryads, like we just saw. And, you know, that's why also when you look at what Sa has been taking, he's got his own, right? I'm not sure if he's really going to change anything other than just having the Wrath of the Dryad for him.
It sounds like the perfect Roshambo. Right who is relying on what ult he gets. Right now, 2v1. Sorry, Felix! Pops a consecration one more time underneath the turret. Not going to be... as 3 of them go for it. But this opens up another turtle.
Pro's going to trade, man. You know, if it's
Pro Dương không bạc bay phi không bớ game này phải early 3 này bớ.
Right, he's just the Uranus. He's going to go ahead and deal with some pressure. As long as his team is trading something for it, someone else, which happens to be now the second turtle, then that's all good.
Let's go
hey, you want to make some omelets, you've got to crack some eggs. And in this situation, Sorry and Felix is the egg.
That's a big egg, man. But at this he eventually though too, even though he's died a couple times, he'll be tanky enough to be that front line for his team for sure.
Fail. 2 for 1 as Han finds a double. P falls as well. I don't even know who really started that fight, but at the end of the day, I think Pro have lost the lead that they've built up over the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think they both just saw each other and like, you know what, let's fight. Because that's exactly what they did. Let's see the play again. This is all centered around here. You can just see that double basically Wrath of Dryads being set up. But the problem is because you're fighting that little choke point and you've got the walls to work with, Han kind of gets that upper hand where he can just kind of cable back and forth. Spider-Man. Hey, go see it while you can.
Han picks up the Malefic Roar now. It's not nor is Kaiser going as hard as he was in game number 2. So we're expecting Han to be the real Punisher this early on. Especially since Pro has lost that, you know, big 1,000 gold lead they had 5-minute mark. Oh, big wall put up. Blink gets caught. He answers with a Wrath of the Dryad. Han comes in. Cutthroat finds B. Serves up a kill to Kaiser.
Okay, flicker burn from Kaiser. Again, really good counterpunch there from YG. Pro Esports has to choose these fights a little bit better, but they can start to go ahead and rely on this. Oh, Kozin.
Uh-oh. He drops that Salmon Force. Han, maybe one more enhanced basic attack would have taken down the Fanny midair.
Purify from Kozin. Kozin is going to be that guy for Pro Esports once he scales into this Harith. This third turtle, though, being worked on by Yonder and Galacticos. Most likely will go in their hands unless a conceal's already used. They're going to fight for it.
Drop in Muddles. Ying skewers. There's the Wrath of the Dryad coming down. And the lineup on Pro Esports are compromised, but Young Galacticos lost a little too much health. It's Pro's going to be making themselves scarce for now.
Yep, turtle secure though by YG. So they fought for it. There was an attempt there from Pro. Pro's still in a good position though, even though they lose that turtle. It looks like they had a hard time with that team fight, but they're still in a really good position to go into that first Lord. That's really where it's going to matter. You can also see gold lane, right? There's a bit of an advantage for Kozin. He had a really good time in the laning phase, has about a 700 gold lead. He's already got the Starlium Scythe worked in, and that's why, you know, imagine one item locked into for that Harith. You're already seeing the damage potential that he can have in these fights.
And he's on his way to that feather. There you go. So even more, that little moment here in that mid lane, even with that Purify pop, again, he already has that passive resilience coming in, about 30% less he'll take from, you know, the little stuns on Ying or Wrath of the Dryads. This is that mid-game power spike we're looking for coming in from Pro.
Has been pretty good with the Wrath of the Dryad usage. That's one of the things here. Sorry, Felix Manny. They're going for the eggs again.
Yep, this is what he's meant to do. Pops that Purify, Consecration as well, buys maybe 2 seconds, but will not stop Yangon from pushing this tier 1 down bottom. But it's not like Coily has been doing work as well. Look at that chubby wave he sent up. And now Sanji gets found out. Why would you take that weird exit?
I'm not sure. Really good choice there from Pro. Yeah, they lost Sorry and Felix again for the 3rd time. But they were able to capitalize a kill on the gold laner of YG, but they also put some pressure on some of these turrets. They want to start to open up the map a little bit here, just because, again, that Lord's coming up in about 15. You need some space to work with. And some of these off angles is what they can really hone in on and highlight here. Again, having that Bedang, having San Valentina with the Wrath of the Dryad, with the Flicker available. There's some surprise setups that Pro Esports can play around. So now that Lord is up. We'll see who decides to get in range for this. Coily been very elusive so far in the Harara. Able to kind of just utilize these extra brushes across the map, the mobility obviously that comes with it, and then that scalability here built in. So Sorry, Felix needed that Radiant Armor. He's got it locked in now. So again, despite all the pressure he's dealt with, his one job is pretty much to be that front line, that bulwark. So it gives P that option too to go into Bedang to set things up. So very slow in this Lord take. I don't expect anyone to take it just yet, as both teams still look to find some opening, some real estate across the map.
Well, I'll be damned. In late July 2026, a dance. But no, they PP off first. And now Han picks up Kozin. That's 2 men down from Pro. This is a non-starter. The Cambodian squad has to back off. Suddenly, Yangon Galacticos have all but secured themselves a Lord. Sorry, and Felix looking at the come in from the flank. Coily takes a few hits from Sanji. Lord here at a 16th of its health within retribution range. Han, all he has to do is retribution now. Yangon Galacticos takes the Lord.
Wow, again, Yangon Galacticos showing their fighting prowess here in these team fights. I was thinking they'd slow it down enough, but again, when you have a Ruby and Ying can just say, you know what, let's go. And he makes it happen again, going in with an I'm offended. Even if it's a tankier member for Pro Esports, they don't care. It's a pull, they can crash down, get a numbers advantage, and that's what happened there in that team fight. So now, Lord in their favor. Yangon Galacticos looking to take down some tier 2s.
Despite all we've been saying about Kozen's mid-game power spike or Coily getting in there, dealing damage, he still doesn't have any stats on the Sky Piercer. If anything, P is the most important utility in Pro's team fighting kit. He needs to catch someone. At best, if it's Han, if he can compromise Sanji, but that's how they start fights. No way other can they start anything.
And I think that's why that Melissa pick was really good too. You know, you get that ultimate, that go away from me. You're able to kind of buy some space with it. Good dodge there. Not getting pulled from Ying's, I'm offended. But the Lord is still here. So now they've got to respond to this. They are just most likely, I don't expect them to approach the base yet because Yangon Galacticos is still really respecting what Pro Esports' lineup can do. So at most, they take down some tier 2s.
He comes in, finds it, does force Han to back up, but he will fall now. One more for Han. And I think P is getting a little impatient. I'm not so sure how well they coordinated that whole ambush.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like they were ready to follow through on that. And now again, but that it serves a purpose. There's a reason why it's there. Oh no, tier 2.
Coily, iframe will survive, but in comes Blink. Falls as well, and now it's all falling apart. 3 members down for the count. But YG has no wave, so Pro can thank their lucky stars. Felix so close.
So close, but again, this is about all Yangon Galacticos can take off of that push. We'll take down, open up the map, take down the tier 2 turrets. But you're seeing just how much of a struggle it is for Pro Esports even to find an advantage when it comes to a team fight. It's so crucial. Oh, whoa.
Kozen! Dropped the Zaman Force, gets a few shields.
Zaman Force down, though.
Pushing Han back, yes. This is what, a good 20 seconds before Kozen can punish anyone from pushing too deep, but they've already lost their top lane inhibitor. Permanent damage onto the base. Blink with a rather dry to himself. Sandy wailing away. P! He's gonna fall once more! He does get the wall up, but where's the damage there to Zaman Force? Kozen looking to deal a lot of damage. Oh, might get compromised here. Down to himself. Kozen doing his darkness and Coily.
Shut down.
Loses just one.
I didn't expect the fight to break out there, but Pro Esports decided to go for it anyway. They thought they were able to catch Blink, but instead there was a counter punch from YG. Although they didn't lose too much, some battle spells were expended on both sides.
That's about as fruitful as it can get for Pro right now. Yeah. That turret was going to fall either ways. The fact that they can get a trade out, especially for a in exchange for the mid laner, that's a good deal. That'll help at least stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it's not bad. But again, the Purify is down currently for Kozen. You know, he's got, like we said, he's got the items he needs. You can already see that damage potential, but it's more so being able to survive a fight. Almost all the fights we've seen so far, it's just been a numbers advantage for Yangon Galacticos because usually it's PP just going down very quickly when he tries to set things up.
He's in the right position. Down goes Zeke, but underneath the Lord, Sanji throws out a needle, takes him down. Now, Sorium Felix bites it as well. 2 for 1. And this spells another sure Lord for Yangon Galacticos.
Oh, again, Pro Esports, just the team fighting is not it throughout this series. Even Kozen. You know, he didn't have much room to work with. 10 seconds left on his timer. Mid turret will go down. They've got some time to walk down this bottom wave to potentially take out the last base turret. So YG will go for a reset. They'll march this one in, walk it down. Sorry, Felix will be back up. They've got nearly all the battle spells that they need here. But same thing for the other side for YG. P doesn't have a flicker, and you know with the Badang, that's one of the main things that he needs to kind of set things up. So far, just all these setups, man, have not worked.
Okay, fortunately, they are in dangerous grasp. We can't find these odd angles. All right, he will be put down about half health. Lord already inside the base.
You gotta deal with that Lord.
Pro Esports has to do this very, very carefully. Kozen they drop all the damage. Down goes another base up next. Kozen doing his darndest to clear the waves and deal a lot of damage.
They clear the Lord.
And they do clear the Lord, but there's still a wave coming in through mid. And just like that, Yangon Galacticos remain undefeated. Vicious win, a sweep in the quarters.
Yangon Galacticos was not joking around throughout this series. Maybe in game 3 took him a little bit longer.
carry hai mới chọn bởi vì miếng được lực đáy bay chứ trời mày mạnh nhá ơi lực đáy bay
was not joking around throughout this series. Maybe in game 3 took him a little bit longer. But it just repeats itself time after time after time. 3 dominant games against Pro Esports here. Again, taking even drafts. Just a couple days ago. Shades of it. Things that worked, things that didn't. They readjusted, refined. And I'll tell you what, Yangon Galacticos looks like a big threat moving forward.
Every single game they've managed to he will be put down about half health. Lord already inside the base.
Copy play. Copy club, copy cho Ruby, copy không muối.
Lord
no out clear. Mày play vào rồi. Vấp. Ball trời tật.
Still has a purify. They drop all the damage. Another base up that goes into
the draft that even Rain Day called, you know, again.
Playing around this potential fall.
To you fight to collapse down.